Hello and welcome to This Week at the Lake, the news and feature show about the people and events of interest to you, the residents of Lake Monticello. And this program is originating from the High and Muriel Badler studio. For the Lake Monticello Broadcasting Group, I'm Mona Orange, and I'm so pleased to be your host. Now I have to tell you, I have been looking forward to today for a long time. Why? Because my guest is Langden Mason, writer, playwright, producer, and director. And Langden is who I think of when I think of a Southern gentleman. He's charming, he's witty, and he's got a great Southern accent. So for someone like me with a Brooklyn accent, that's really fun. And Langden, talking about fun, is a lot of fun to be around. So I'm sure you, our viewers, will agree as we welcome him. And so welcome back, Langden.
Good to be here, Mona.
Langden and I have met in the studio before, and as I said, I really love spending this time with you. You are a lot of fun. Don't disappoint.
I'll see what I can do.
It's been a couple of years, and I know a lot has been happening in your life as a writer, a director, a producer, a playwright. I mean, you have so much stuff going on in addition to your full-time position at State Farm.
Correct.
But before we catch up on these other things, let's talk about The Odd Couple, because I know that's what's really dear to your heart right now. So let's talk about that. That's going to be opening up in April at Carysbrook, correct?
Correct. We opened April 17th, and I know for a fact, what people don't know is the fact I have to tell the Carysbrook Performing Arts Center what I'm going to do a year ahead. Well,
oh.
Yes. So what happened was, unfortunately, or fortunately, my godson decided to get married on April 18th. So of this year. So it's going to be quite a comedy of errors going here and there. So the night we open, we have rehearsal dinner. And so it'll be pretty Neil Simon-ish, I think.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, so it'll be kind of crazy.
But no one else will know but you.
That's right.
And your wife, right? That's it. Okay, so you've written and produced and directed lots of shows at Carysbrook, right? And so why did you, and most of them I think successful, all the ones I've gone to are successful, I can't speak for the ones I wasn't there, but what made you choose to do The Odd Couple this year?
Well, The Odd Couple, I remember when my parents started letting me stay up late for the Late 8 movie years and years and years ago. The Odd Couple was one of the first movies that I saw, and I just fell in love with the humor and the dialogue. It's just an American classic, and I think the Pigeon Sisters with Felix and Oscar is one of the most comedic scenes of all time. And so what I did was I did a little research and actually discovered that this year, 2015, is the 50th anniversary of Neil Simon's opening of the original The Odd Couple on Broadway. So a lot of times you can't do a production if there's the same production in the area, and I was shocked only one other place in Virginia is doing The Odd Couple.
Wow.
And it's slightly alternated. They open on our final weekend, but I was thrilled, so I went to Samuel French and got paid for the rights. Right. And I just felt it was just an American classic, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is. It's a funny,
It really is.
And not everybody knows it was a Broadway show.
It's true, but most people think of Jack Klugman and Randy
right.
and Tony Randall.
Right.
And that's what comes to mind, but the movie
right.
is just a classic.
Right. And I was too young to go see that on Broadway 50 years ago.
Me too.
Probably not. But I certainly saw the movie, which had the original Broadway, a lot of the Broadway cast, right? Am I right about that?
Correct.
And that was a riot, and it was so funny that it was made into a television series.
Right.
So most people probably don't remember the Broadway show, but some may remember the movie because thankfully we can get to see these movies on TV forever. And then lots of people remember the old show. And the show has been TV show has been updated several times and hasn't really been all that successful. But the movie was amazing.
It was, and Jack Lemmon was classic. And what a lot of people don't know is Art Carney played the original Felix Unger on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
With Walter Matthau. And Walter Matthau to this day says that's what created his career. And
oh, really?
He collaborated with Neil Simon in lots of other productions that Neil Simon wrote or co-wrote.
Oh, I didn't know that. And Walter Matthau's one of these people that, you know, is such an amazing actor and goes so against the grain of, you know, you have to be this handsome, you know, person to make it in Hollywood. And here was somebody who, you know, was sort of funny looking.
He
right?
was. He was more dramatic in earlier roles, such as A Face in the Crowd with Andy Griffith and Patricia O'Neill. But yeah, and he's just a classic comedian. I mean, he's just, no one does it quite like him.
So is there anybody in the cast? It's not a huge cast, but it's about how many people?
It's 6 men and 2 women.
And are any of them from Lake Monticello?
Yes, Bob Strohmeyer, who is a well known around here.
He certainly is.
He actually plays Murray the cop, and he's spectacular. And he's just pretty awesome at the role. And everyone else except one individual from Scottsville and one from Charlottesville are in the surrounding area.
Right.
So there's quite a bit of talent.
Yep.
Right here around the lake.
So tell me, how was it with New York accents? Because I'm assuming, you know, this takes place in New York, and so you would expect most people to sound like me, except for the Pigeon Sisters. And so
Right.
how was that?
It was funny because everyone is from above the Mason-Dixon line. It worked out perfectly. George Gage, who plays Oscar Madison, is just the epitome of Oscar, and he's from New York.
Yes, he is. He actually, I don't know if you know this, but he lived in the next town from us. And George and Eve's children and my children were all friends with each other at school. And so when they moved down here, our son called us up and said, "Mom, guess what? You know, the Gages have moved down to Palmyra. Maybe they live near you." And actually, they live about 2 miles away from us. And we get together with them and stuff. So
There's so much of the 6 degrees of separation at the lake, and it makes me laugh.
It's true. It's very funny.
But yeah, and of course Bob Strohmeyer.
Right,
and,
definitely.
And
I told you before that Bob Strohmeyer's wife and I both went to the same
that's
high
right,
school.
see?
But at different times.
It's more like 3 degrees instead of 6 degrees.
Right, it really is.
But it was fun. I usually write plays based in the South, but this was a lot of fun. So no one had to fake a Southern accent. They could just use their actual accent. So it worked out pretty well.
Oh, good. Oh, good. And then you told me that you've added a little something to it as far as music goes. Because, you know, I do know you from your musicals where you're writing your own things, but this is a show that's already here and you're not making it into a musical.
Right. I spend hours coming up with just the right music to play 35, 40 minutes as people are walking in. And I was raised, I was a jock at Fluvanna, but my grandma wanted me to take piano lessons. So one of the first pieces of sheet music I ever learned to play was the Baby Elephant Walk by Henry Mancini. So what I did was I got all the music, lots of instrumental music, and have incorporated that into the opening. And of course I used the Odd Couple theme as the curtain goes up. And then during intermission, I pull in Baby Elephant Walk and let's see, Fly Me to the Moon and things of that era. I feel like music really sets the tone.
It does.
And I have the most amazing stage manager, Bev Bowman. She's the most talented individual I've ever seen. And she and I have worked really hard so that when the lights go up, you're going to think you're in an apartment in 1965.
I was just going to say, because this takes place in 1965.
A lot of people put it in the 70s, but I wanted to, since it was the 50th anniversary, I really wanted to work hard to get the feel. Even the Wheaties boxes and the bowls, everything has been recreated to give you that feel, kind of that Mad Men era. And Warren Johnson, who plays Roy in the show, he is an amazing set constructor, and he has done a spectacular job. And so we've been painting, and it is truly community theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's community theater at its best.
It truly is. It truly is.
And you can see how much fun everybody's having when we go to one of the shows that you've directed and produced. And in this case, you have directed and produced it.
Correct.
So when people hear about things like creating the Wheaties box and painting sets and stuff, you know, that's all stuff that's production. That's what the producer does. If people are wondering, well, what does the producer do?
That's a great point, because not only do I have to organize the playbill and figure out who's going to be where, when, I also have to work on costumes. I don't sew, but the cast has done a very good job. But also you have to figure out when Oscar throws the linguine in the kitchen, how are we going to do that?
How's it going to stick to the wall?
That's right. Well, it's all going to be smoke and mirrors. So.
Oh, okay. You're not going to give that away, huh?
No.
It's just we'll all appreciate the magic of the moment.
That's right.
All right. Now we have a poster from the show, and perhaps we can put it up on the screen. And unfortunately, we don't have the poster showing in the studio, so we can't see it. But let's go over the dates as best you can.
Okay. So we open the 17th of April,
and this is at Carysbrook.
It's Carysbrook Performing Arts Center, right there on Route 15, and we will be running. That will be a 7:30 show, and then 18th it'll be a 7:30 show, which is that Saturday, and we have a Sunday matinee at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And then the same for the following Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
So it's 2 weekends.
2 weekends, so 6 performances.
Okay.
And so yeah, those are the dates.
Okay, and on the poster, it's showing also the information about the website and where you can order tickets, and also the phone number.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
and carysbrook.org is the website, and they have a fantastic ticket ordering system. You just leave a message, or you can just order them online, which is the simplest thing, but you can also order them by leaving a message through the phone number, and so it's very simple.
And is it, when you order tickets, are the tickets for the seats, or is it general admission?
It's general admission.
Okay.
And we usually have no problems, but we do recommend people get there at least 30 minutes before opening to get the seat that you want.
And also to get easy parking.
And that's true. And listen to some good music.
And listen to good music. Now we know.
That's
you know?
right. That's right.
And once you mentioned the theme, I can't get it out of my head. So while I'm talking to you, the theme from The Odd Couple is going through my head, which is making this a little crazy for me. Okay, so this is you know, a typical Neil Simon play. It takes place in New York. It's you could actually see him in the show, if, you know, in your mind's eye and stuff. You know, it's his life kind of thing. Things he's
Definitely.
So have you directed any other Neil Simon plays?
I did. I directed Plaza Suite, and I think that is a great show. It's very different than this, because
very different.
It's 3 separate scenes, and the first one is very wry. The second one is funny, and the third one is hilarious. So it's the same suite, but 3 different scenes. Whereas with The Odd Couple, the dialogue is just brilliant, and there's no lull of drama.
Ah.
It's hilarious from the opening line to the end, and that's what it's a laugh riot.
And it is. I mean, I'm looking forward to going and laughing the whole night. So don't disappoint. No, only kidding.
The greatest thing is it's still relevant after 50 years.
Because people's relationships haven't changed all that much.
And as an amateur playwright, I can only hope that I'm still relevant 50 years from now.
Okay. I have a feeling you will be.
We'll see.
So talking about your writing, so what about plays in the future? Do you have anything that you're working on at this time?
Yes. I chose The Odd Couple because I really didn't have anything finished. I really like to get it complete. So I'm kind of like the person with 3 or 4 novels on the bedside table. But I'm working on Present Company Excluded, which is a murder mystery comedy.
Okay.
And also Rude Awakening, which is about 2 strangers who are snowbound in an Afton, Virginia hotel. Also, I'm doing
And is that a drama or
no,
a comedy?
I don't do drama.
You don't
There's
do
enough drama.
in your life as it is?
Well,
that
the news, everyone needs to be taken away for 2 hours. And so that's what I do. And I'm doing a spoof on the Christmas Carol, but it's sort of, the guy's name is Evan Feezer. And what it is, it's called Mistletoe and Martinis. And it's sort of, the question is proposed, what if Andy Williams really didn't like Christmas? And so he's an individual, and it's set in the late 60s, a very Andy Williams type character. And he's done. And everyone keeps trying to pull him in.
Oh, that's so funny because we all grew up with those specials.
Oh, and it's going to be a total spoof of the swirling sets and stuff like that.
Right,
and
and they're all sitting outside in the snow, and they all have their muffs on.
Oh, that's
and their
right.
hats. And he had his little French wife, and then I remember when she left him.
Yes.
And it was like, what? What are they going to do on the Christmas specials now? She left him.
So I'm going to pull that in. Yeah, I thought that
See, people are very connected to that because that's a part of our childhood.
Well, I'm all about nostalgia, and
Yes.
Unfortunately, nostalgia is a thing of the past. I don't know where that came from. Maybe you can put that on your T-shirt.
There you go.
And last but not least, I've gotten the rights. I'm working with a gentleman who did the Broadway stage production of The Great Gatsby. So one of my biggest dreams of all time is to set The Great Gatsby to music with Cole Porter sounding, the jazz
right.
era. The new one was interesting, but that's what I've always wanted to.
When you say the new one, you mean the new movie.
The new movie.
Do you know I never saw it?
I never tell people if I really like it or not. It was interesting.
Okay.
It was interesting.
I think I was so turned off by the promos for it
Yeah.
that it was sort of like too big.
Yeah.
That I was
Yeah.
like, what did they do to
They
the
did a
Great
good job.
Gatsby?
I mean, I will say it was an interesting concept, but they took some creative notions, and it was great. It was good.
Okay, well that is a lot going on right now. 3 originals and then 1 musical. So the other 3 are all comedies. They're non-musicals.
They're all comedies except for the
Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby, and also the Christmas show.
Oh, that's a musical
That's
as
going to
well.
be a musical also.
Oh, well, I guess there's so many great opportunities there for music.
It really lends itself.
Andy Williams.
Yeah, with the big TV sets rolling around and stuff, and they're doing the
fun.
promos, and so it opens. They're doing the promo for the Christmas show, and they get to him in the spotlight, and no one's there. So he's off on a drunken stupor or something. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, sure, because his wife just left him.
That's right. That's right.
I think she came back the following year and did the show with him. I sort of remember that. Like, why is she there?
Did she kill somebody?
I think she was accused of
Okay.
killing somebody. I don't,
All right.
I don't know.
See, there's drama everywhere.
See, there is drama everywhere.
Yeah.
You're right, but that you can make that funny because
We'll
you're
work it.
making your own thing. Okay, so one of the things on a more serious topic, on the drama topic, is that like a lot of other people in Fluvanna County, I really looked forward to your columns in the Rural Virginian. And I noticed that they're not there anymore. So I just thought you might like to make a comment about that.
Yeah, actually July of this year would have been 20 years writing Don't Get Me Started column every week. It was a great form of therapy. I enjoyed it. It got really popular, and I appreciate it. And but it was great just taking my family and turning them into celebrities, whether they wanted to or not. And about 3 or 4 months ago, the Rural Virginian, I started feeling a little bit of a nudge. First of all, my articles ran about 800 words. They wanted to cut me to 400. And the next thing I tried, but it was kind of like asking Mark Twain to write haikus. And the humor was lost. And then the last straw, so to speak, was they said, the new person in charge said that he felt that a couple of the columns were offensive. And I thought,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I said, I'm no prude, but when I wrote I knew my audience, and I had lots of people, from cousins to aunts, but I always thought about my Sunday school teacher from when I was 5 or 6. She read it, and would it be offensive to her? So I didn't think it would be, but I think the days of the humorous columnists are few and far between. People like, and the rural Virginians sort of leaning towards writing mostly news articles, and it's not really local anymore. They pull in a lot of the Richmond, the General Assembly, in Charlottesville. So it was a fun gig. I cannot believe this would have been 20 years. I'd still be doing it, but it was time. So I sort of bid them farewell, and told them I wish them all the luck in the world. But I do miss it. Really, when you do something systematically, you really get into this sort of a bit of a fog, because you have these thoughts and you just don't know where to put them. So I'll put them in these new productions. So.
Oh, good. And we had this chat before, because I also used to write a column for the Fluvanna Review.
Right.
I used to do a restaurant column, and I did that for 3 or 4 years. And I also was told that they had made the decision no more columns. And not to take it personally, that the publicist loved reading them, and he said he used to get hungry and couldn't wait to try these new restaurants,
Right.
but that they had decided to go in a different direction, and for business reasons, and they were cutting out all their columns. So I think it's not just humorous columns. I think columns altogether,
because a lot of people read you also,
are just not happening. But I have to tell you, there are times, people are still coming up to me to tell me about new restaurants, or I'll go someplace and say, gee, I would have loved to have written about this particular restaurant and let
Right.
people know about it, and that venue's gone. And someone suggested a blog, and I felt like I didn't really want to do that.
I'm considering a book.
Oh,
so
well, that's a good idea.
I actually thought I'd call it Kinfolk Pickings from a Southern Family Tree, because and choose the ones that dealt with my family members and crazy things that go on.
Right.
So,
right.
But I always like poking fun at myself. I mean, that was the most fun. I'm making a fool of myself. I think that's where the humor comes through.
Yep. So talking about poking fun at ourselves, not only were we both columnists, but we both share the same birthday.
That's right.
February 20th. And when I spoke to you and asked you to do the program, I said, I had the best birthday. I said, no matter what you did, it could not have been as good as my birthday, because I was in Hawaii, and the end of the birthday was we went out for dinner and dancing under the stars. It was absolutely perfect. I said, what did you do for your birthday? And you said, Langdon, take it away. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I've almost decided not to do an interview or just hang up on you. But yes, I spent my 52nd birthday under my house thawing pipes out. My grandfather was a plumbing and heating guy, first one in Scottsville. And I had to laugh, because his motto was, I haven't been in a lot of the fine houses in Virginia, but I've been under them all. And I did everything I was supposed to do. I let it drip. I let everything happen. And we had a filtration system. And you have to also, and it had a slight leak. And you have to understand, I live in a 1922 schoolhouse, because I like to renovate old houses. So yes, as you were dining and dancing and enjoying Hawaii, I was under my house at 2:30 in the morning, and that was the week we had under -5, 3 days in a row. So good times.
I know, that was mean, right?
That's okay.
I just thought that was so funny.
It was.
I was like, I'm waiting to hear your wonderful, plans that you had, especially because our birthdays were on a Saturday.
Oh yeah.
So it was an opportunity to do something really great.
And I found something great to do.
Yep, you did. I'm sure your wife appreciated it a little bit.
She did.
All right, well, I'm going to ask if we can put that poster up one more time and take a look at it. The poster for The Odd Couple, I hope it's up there. And mention dates again. It's 2 weekends, 6 performances.
Yes, we open on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, and the following weekend, 24th, 25th, and 26th, I believe. And
I hope so.
Yeah, close enough. I guess they're looking at the poster. And
right.
The performances are wonderful. These guys are amazing, especially George Gage as Oscar and Tom Green as Felix, and the entire supporting cast are superior. And I just don't know how people memorize lines. And then,
Me either.
and my memory's so short, I can't remember how long it is. I mean, it's terrible. But I look at these people and they just make it so easy. And then it's almost like they didn't memorize it. They've become the character.
They become the character. And it's been fun for us, having known George, watching him through all of your shows and seeing him grow as an actor. And the last show that he did with you, Dick and I sat there and said, oh my God, I can't believe this is the same George Gage, because he's grown so much as an actor.
He really has.
So I'm looking forward a lot to seeing him do the comedy, and especially him being able to do it with his New York accent and stuff. It'll be fun.
That's for sure. And come see Bob Strohmeyer.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
He keeps retiring.
I could see him as Murray the cop, too. I can see that.
He is brilliant. I mean, it's just crazy. And our group is kind of like the mafia. He keeps retiring, and we keep pulling him back in. So.
Well, you keep on offering him really good roles, and so he can't resist.
He's great. So the all 8 members are just amazing.
Well, I hope that our viewers are going to go and see this, because it sounds like a wonderful evening or afternoon. A lot of fun.
Tons
it'll
of
be
fun.
a lot of fun, and we can all use a lot of fun right now.
I agree.
So that's great. And Langden, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule, especially as you're preparing for the April 16th opening. And as the old showbiz saying goes, break a leg.
Thank you.
I hope everyone realizes that's just a showbiz saying.
That's true.
And thank you for watching This Week at the Lake. I invite you to make This Week at the Lake part of your regular viewing habit. We can be watched every morning at 8:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and also every evening at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. all on Lake Monticello's own channel 977 and on YouTube. So for the Lake Monticello Broadcasting Group, this is Mona Orange. Hope you have a great week.